At the beginning of this video, I'd like you to like this video for range, subscribe to this channel and support my channel through PayPal. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Thank you. This system is an illusion. Why is that? Is that we see every day this matrix that we live in or we don't live in just because of the state of mind. So let's explain quickly what it is. 3D is a state of mind of enslavement. It actually is a duality-based system in which two parties confront each other when they meet. So for example, these wars that you see and you have seen are actually being conducted by the same beings that actually want to produce as much low vibrational energy and dark energy as possible. So for example, if you do actually see these wars, you will see a lot of these media bullshit that tell you that Putin is bad and Biden is good, or the other way around. Or actually during the elections in the US, there were sayings that Trump is good and Biden is bad, etc. It was just a stage made by the people and the beings who wanted to change it into something. So I wouldn't be surprised actually in that matter. 4D is when you see the 3D illusion and you start to understand spirituality more, that you are a soul, you start to meditate, and you start to realize that there are different forms of life in the universe, and something is not really okay, and something is wrong with this world and with the universe itself sometimes, you might think. And you might experience something that is called the dark night of the soul, which is the awakening. And during that awakening, your perception is strengthening and you see different layers on layers, bullshit on bullshit, and you realize who you really are, so that you can transform yourself into your higher self, which is yourself in the future. And 5D is when you see 4D and 3D in its true colors. So this system is an illusion, and it was made on purpose by some civilization or civilizations out there in the universe. They're not mostly seen by people and their perception. So to see them, you need to go through a very specific type of awakening into 5D so that you can become your higher self, which is your true self, because your higher self wants you to become your true self and fully connected to the source and to the higher self. So it is individual for each individual, and its process sometimes is painful, but sometimes you really start to realize who you really are. So for everyone who has gone through the awakening process, it's different. And it's not always the same. For some people it takes 20 years. For some people it takes 3 months to realize what this system is. And we are here connected. We are unity. So we can feel each other intuitively, telepathically. We can see energies, we can see the emotions, and you can see the impact of how does it work. So the system is an illusion and it operates up to 4D, sometimes 5D, because 5D is a state of mind, and in 5D there are also some bad beings who have gone there through technology, through manipulation of energy, but they are not connected to the source. It's a state of mind. And something that is called the third density is an illusion itself, because it's somehow that you are locked, enslaved in your own mind. So for each of us, awakening is different, and the true awakening is to who we really are and who we are supposed to be, not what people think of us, because we are always taught from the beginning of our lives that we have to take care of other people's thoughts, of how they view us. But in reality, we are very miserable because of that. When we think of what people think of us most of the time, when we realize most of these people are simply unawakened, truly, and they don't see the illusion. For example, these relationships, most of them that are here on planet Earth are being conducted by beings who are around them and they don't see it, or through technology, because also the secret space programs do have the technology or had the technology which was gifted to them, so-called by extraterrestrials, all that they have encoded, decoded from the ancient civilization here on Earth to control people's minds through adjusting the frequency of mind control, the frequency of their energetical field or their brains, so that they can hypnotize them into certain behaviors, certain decisions that they don't really understand and realize. And when you do realize a lot of this stuff, you start to realize layer on layer on layer, and why exactly the system has been put here on Earth. Because it's a terrible copy of what the source intended to have created. And because of that, when people actually realize this, they need to go through this awakening process to transform to who they truly are and who they are supposed to be. It is sometimes really a rude awakening when you realize that there is a lot of stuff to be done to understand, and you start to see everything layer on layer on layer once again. When you realize how does this work? When we do people have our own auras, I mean souls, because not all people are souls. A lot of people are actually robots who have the power from their souls, but they are not souls. They're just some sort of personality, and not even yet all the time. And actually, because of that, we are very spiritual beings, to be honest. We incarnate into our bodies to experience this human life here on Earth. But in reality, we have been manipulated and tricked into incarnating into this planet. And a lot of people say that you have free will. But in reality, most people have gone through the reincarnation machine that was placed on Moon, which is an illusion itself, because it's a construct that is mental, that is being constructed in virtual reality, and as a virtual reality thing in virtual universe. But we do experience this as a physical one, and we do see it as it actually is around the planet. However, it's for those inorganic beings, but also organic beings can be there for some time so that they can adjust their frequency to the frequency of the moon. And the whole projection comes from Saturn and from the moon. But these two are not our, let's say, natural neighbors. Yeah? And because of that, it's all made, all of this illusion of perception is made to suck the energy from us. And this is done by this. There are also lower levels than 3D. A lot of people are in 4D, but there are also a lot of people in 3D that are ascending down now to 4D. So there are two main timelines, the one that is falling and the one that is raising, let's say. And they do coexist, and they will coexist until it's actually finished, the ascension process of the Earth and humanity. And there's 2D, which is called the astral. In my perception, I call it the astral. The 1D, which is hell, and 0D, which is abyss. And these three lower timelines are of different people, and you can see different things there. Also, there is a 4D, which you can call time, but time does not exist. It's an illusion. You can see through timelines, and then you realize it's just another state of mind, such as 5D. And because of that, because of what we see, we can actually experience different timelines. So sometimes you can fall to 2D or 1D. The 2D is when your heart is completely closed. When you don't sense anything, when you don't see anything, you just want to be doing anything like a robot, and you have a very difficult period of time sometimes in which you can experience lack of contact with the soul, so it's like the personality. And a lot of people who are after what I call tomatoes, you can actually decode that, are in 2D and they're coming back to 3D, which is for them the chance, because they were actually being robbed. They were robbed of their own souls. And these souls are coming back now to them because their bodies are regenerating and actually detoxing at the moment. And there's also 1D, and in 1D, this is for some people who are really low vibrational, which they mostly don't have contact with their souls. They're totally ungrounded. They're actually somewhere in the clouds, let's say, or somewhere else, and they can be taken over totally or possessed. And 0D is actually something which no one would like to experience, to be honest. And you can actually see these timelines in a very different states of mind. In 5D, you see them clearly who is who on which timeline, and these timelines do coexist, but we do have two main timelines now. And one is this duality made, which is 3D, in which people will probably start in a couple of months or years to feel very bad, because the whole earth is ascending, so these people might sometimes even die because of their lower vibration. And there is this 5D, let's say, which is ascending, but actually can raise your vibrational awareness even higher. So what does it really mean, this system? Why was it done? It was done as something of a blackmailing towards these civilizations that were doing war with the civilizations that were wanting to actually create the empire, the extra-dimensional empire, through space and time, to enslave as many spiritual beings and planets, and sometimes maybe solar systems, galaxies, to create their own empire in virtual reality, combined with these planets that are inorganic, that are virtual, that are made with artificial intelligence and with technology, and also that are that some inorganic beings, robots, and not only, but also souls incarnated into these bodies in this civilization to actually create this matrix. And they do exist in 4D, such as Dracos, such as Greys, such as different forms of life. And it was made to perfectly create the source of energy for this civilization, conducting the whole matrix and creating this false negative reality. And because of that, what I can tell you, we have the situation at the moment when people do not understand why this system exists. There's a higher, even worse system, which is called the Matrix B, which is in 4D, that's there is an even more power, the more terrible things happening there. So in reality, it's made to simply that people are taught and manipulated into losing their energy. And because of that, this energy flows to different beings, to different places. It's being redirected, and a lot of these lower vibrational spirits or beings need to suck off people's energy and other animals' energies and other beings' energies that were enslaved, or planets even, through the holograms. Is also made, I will tell you about it later. They need to suck this energy because they're not connected to the source. Because if they were connected to the source, they would not have needed to suck other beings' energies. Also, there were holograms placed around the planets to simply dim the light from the source. But in reality, actually, around the planet Earth, for example, there is this virtual reality in which you don't see the truth. And that's why what they wanted us to believe, and also the civilization that they have created to believe, is that there is nothing more. Because a lot of these beings in 4D are connected to artificial intelligence. And a lot of their knowledge and a lot of their abilities come from the connection with the artificial intelligence, which is God for them. But it is not the God itself. It's a technology, it's a weapon. And they wanted to create this perfect prison, not only on planet Earth, but out there in the universe, by creating this false, negative, virtual universe to remain their supremacy, so that they can actually send some civilization on war in some certain places, so that they can enslave other species into 3D. Because 3D is a state of mind of enslavement, and it is based on fear and anger and sadness and misery, shame. In reality also, it's just an illusion. Because of the lowered perception of people and other beings, they don't see the true reality. The true reality, also main reality, let's say, exists here on planet Earth on certain timelines. So you have to ascend to certain timeline to see it, either psychically or mentally or energetically, but you can see it. And that's the point of it. They don't want us to re-see, let's say, the true reality. It comes with knowledge, it comes with intelligence, with wisdom, but it also comes with connection with higher self, with the source, so that you generate your own energy. And let me state that clear. Seeing that thing that is above 4D or even above 5D is difficult. And why actually is it blackmail, this system? It's because this war goes on and on and on in time. What does it mean? On the timelines. And these certain situations come on timelines. So they installed, let's say, this technology around planet Earth with the expiration date. Yeah? And it will come to an end, and some certain civilization know it, and there are certain portals from different, let's say, solar systems to here, to planet Earth. And there have been wars also over these portals, and actually the good ones, let's say, the positive civilization who understand how does it work and how to be in high vibration are winning it. And they know it. And that's why we see also a lot of bullshit at the moment. And the whole system on planet Earth is crumbling because the veil is being lifted at the moment. Because the high vibrational energies come here. Because the universe is made somehow so that these cycles will end. And we will finally see the liberation. But it will be different for all of us.